All right, what's going on, guys? Hope you are all doing well. One of the biggest matches of the year is Devon Larratt and Vitaly Laletin. We've had it confirmed now 2 days ago by Ink and Terzi, as happening within the August East vs West event, which I believe is East vs West 19. Don't know the exact date yet, but what I wanted to do today was talk about the specific technical balance or the matchup in respect to how we can expect Devon and Vitaly to attempt to win this match. Because it's a different one. The lever length of Vitaly Laletin really does change this game for Devon Larratt. It really does force him to have to do something different than we've seen in any other match in the last couple of years. Devon is usually taller than his opponents, and subsequently he's able to employ a very similar tactic against everybody he faces. Vitaly Laletin, as we know, is the tallest man in arm wrestling, and therefore he is going to have the high ground. Now, if I am able to demonstrate for you what Devon usually does, how Devon usually wins most matches is with static pronation. Okay, he doesn't win the match with static wrist rise, although I'm sure his wrist rise is strong. Devon Larratt will start most matches in a position like this, where his wrist is dropped. He's got strong finger flexion, strong ulnar deviation, locking down in the strap. He has back pressure through the base of the wrist. He locks his bicep, he locks his pronation, and he takes control of high ground. This is the grip that he will start in, and he will often just sit at center, creating a very unmovable situation where if anybody attempts to take him sideways, they collapse underneath his hand and he gets the high ground. Once he has the high ground, either a top roll, or if someone's defense is big enough, he will end up getting into a high hook position like this, bleeding them out, and then finishing them to the pad. Now, that's all well and good for Devon when his opponent, as I said, has a shorter lever. Now, enter Vitaly Laletin, who has a very tall, very long arm. If Vitaly entered the same position as Devon, his webbing height would be above. I don't know the elbow to fingertip of Vitaly, but I'm certain that it is longer than Devon's, despite Devon having a long arm. So what that means for Devon is this. Devon can no longer use this position as his start. If he tries to use a static strength here, Vitaly Laletin will be above the center or the control point of Vitaly's side pressure, of his pronating side pressure, will be above the pivot point of Devon's static pronation. Usually people's center of side pressure is below Devon's pronation static point. And as I said, therefore they crumble under. Where Vitaly will naturally fall over the top of Devon's hand. What this means is Devon is going to have a wrist more like this. He's going to have to post up in order to get height. Now, classically speaking, the shorter man, if he wants to top roll, think about people like Nugo Chikadze against Matt Mas. Great example. Matt Mas, dumped wrist, low arm angle. Nugo Chikadze, high wrist, high arm angle, because of the extreme difference. So we're going to need to see that same thing in Devon's game. It's going to be a high wrist, higher arm angle than Vitaly. Now, for Vitaly, let's talk about him a little. He is used to top rolling everyone. Because no one is taller than him, he gets to use the same tactic essentially on everybody. Now, in my personal experience as a top roller, my favorite people to top roll are people that are just a little bit shorter than me. If they're a lot shorter than me, it gets awkward. Again, think Matt Mas-Nugo. It was difficult for Matt to come down so low. He felt unfamiliar, didn't have access to as much of his side pressure as he usually would. So for Vitaly Laletin, Devon Larratt is just a little bit shorter than he is. He's not a lot shorter, just a little. So in my experience, that means Vitaly Laletin will be in a sweet spot to have a large attack without any risk of derailing. So for me, it is a big advantage to Vitaly when we look at the biomechanical shape of these two athletes and their usual style of pulling. Now, this isn't to say that it's one-way traffic for Vitaly Laletin. Devon does have a different game, which we can remember if we look at the way he has pulled Matt Mask in the past. Matt Mask has never beaten Devon on the right arm. He has pins, but he's never beaten him in the super match or a tournament on the right arm. And we've seen a very common semi-king's move, tight, it's like a tight arm king's move that Devon will use against him. Devon will take his grip, he won't be fully up, he won't be fully down, he'll be kind of neutral, and he will squeeze back, he'll sink down like he's sitting on a stool. Matt will swing, Devon's wrist will go, but he's pulling back tightly here, this tight arm. It's never a king's move down here, it's a tight arm, but in terms of what's going on in the hand, it's a king's move, and he'll wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and absorb Matt's hits until Matt's arm is broken down, and then Devon will take hand control. And Devon will sit there and say, you're gonna pin yourself. That is a tactic that we could see him employ against Vitaly. But although Devon has progressed a lot, and we put Devon a long way ahead of Matt Mask nowadays, Devon was able to pull that off against Matt Mask with difficulty. Vitaly is a much bigger, much stronger, much more dangerous arm wrestling opposition compared to that of Matt Mask. So can Devon pull off the Matt Mask style shape against Vitaly? We may see it. We may see him attempt to do it. And look, the last option technically that we may see Devon forced into choosing, if he's unable to win the rise, if he's unable to win with the tight arm king's move, the last real technical option for Devon is to try to force Vitaly inside. Now, this is the first technical option where I would say that Devon actually has the advantage. When two top rollers are against each other, you much prefer, generally speaking, to be the taller guy. But when you are a hooker and you are chasing a top roller, you want to be able to have a long arm to reach over to their side. Think about people like Tom Holland, Kevin Bongard, long, tall arm hookers that can come to the front of the pad, reach so far that you can't get value of your pronation. Vitaly Laletin, if Devon is fully forward, driving his shoulder, supinating, cupping, he will find it difficult to get over Devon's hand. And he will be forced to accept a high hook position at best rather than a full top roll. Now I say that's an advantage for Devon in the sense that biomechanically, having the long arm reaching across the table, he should, in theory, be able to set the hook. Now setting the hook is just one problem. Can he stop the side pressure drive is the bigger problem there. But anyway, that's really the shapes that I see this match potentially going in. Vitaly Laletin gets the comfort of doing what he always does because he is the taller man. Devon, I expect we're going to see him have to use a little bit of a different shape than we've ever seen him use before. Who wins the match? I don't know. I truly don't know. But it is a fantastic match, one that is well overdue, and I can't wait to see it. Hopefully I'll be there. Hopefully I'll be commentating the event. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about the technical shape of Vitaly Laletin and Devon Larratt.